I was fully expecting, for whatever it's worth, this to be more of like a joke movie. Not to get into like a ratings immediately, but like probably within like I mean, it was kind of cheesy off the get, but like 5-10 minutes in, I was like, okay, this is different. Like we're in dreams, and these dreams are actually like the dreams I have. And welcome to the Scene Weekly podcast, where two part-time cinematics give their best mid-level takes on all things on screens. This week's episode is focused on scary movies prior to your birth, potentially, with A Nightmare on Elm Street. And the amount of times I've actually like looked this up, I'm like, I just type in Freddy immediately, and I'm like, oh, that's not what the movie is called. But come join Jonathan and Craig Sager for another week of hopefully less plot chatter and copious more film banter. We are Scene Weekly, and welcome to our world.
Who the hell is Craig Sager? Oh, I get it. The reporter who wears colorful clothing. Yeah. Hey.
He's the guy that never wears the same thing twice.
See, that's a guy to look up to. That's a guy to like model your life around, right?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because the amount of times that he's been made fun of, one in which I think it was like a Kevin Garnett was being interviewed, and he was like, "You look like you're wearing a lime thong right now."
His color combinations were pretty wild.
I guess they get you to talk about them.
See, and that's
a podcast about movies.
That's the whole point. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, I think if you actually have like, a creative outlet, whereas like, if you're wearing pastels from the earth all the time.
No, I do mix it up with the zebra printed shirt. You love that. Like there's just go back. You'll see.
You've got like 3 shirts that are, creative. I've got 0, so that's good. At least somebody's trying.
You look like an inmate in a 1930s prison right now.
I was trying to go for the closest thing I have to a Freddy shirt.
Okay.
I'm red green colorblind, so it didn't really probably work out according to my wife. But here we are, and you are too. So we're both fucked. So anyway, I can't even remember. I didn't even remember the fact that Freddy / A Nightmare on Elm Street was part of the agenda of movies in the hopper. And so when you said, we got to get through this one first, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I went through our text, and I was like, oh yeah, that was like 10 p.m. ish.
Yeah.
8 Allagash White in Jonathan
Past your
speaking.
bedtime. This was the genesis of it. So I showed you this gift that I got myself for Christmas at the La Brea market. It's a market they do every Sunday, where artists will gather their goods, and you'll see vintage clothing. And I saw this little collage of movie posters from my birth year, 1984. Could possibly be one of the best years in movie. Let's go through this here. Terminator, right? Indiana
Mr.
Jones
Cameron
and the Temple of Doom, The Karate Kid, Ghostbusters, Footloose. You got to throw Footloose in there.
I don't know if Footloose is on like your top movies of the year.
This is Spinal Tap.
That's
Beverly Hills
make up for Footloose. Also terrific. Oh my god, yeah.
And then you saw Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's right. It. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, I don't even remember having that conversation, but 1984 was a interesting year, especially. I mean, starting off with Terminator. Yeah, you can't really get much better than that. Pretty legit. Pretty solid. Legit year.
Yeah.
I don't even know the year 1981. But nonetheless, here we are. Completely forgot. And was this your first watch? Nightmare on Elm Street?
No, Jonathan. No, it wasn't. My parents decided to show me this at a young age.
Wait, your parents?
Yeah.
The pastors of the world?
I clearly remember. This was before
they don't want you to dream.
This was while they were in the Air Force. They were in the military.
Oh my God.
But I was probably like 6 or 7 when they put this on, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Shut the fuck up.
And I will kid you not. Like this
is a lie. This is not. I'll go on with your lie here. Keep going.
This is the defining reason why I stayed away from horror movies and the horror genre for such a long time. It's like,
you know, you're watching this at 6.
Yes. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you eat Brussels sprouts and you just hate them and you're like, I'm not going to eat these for the rest of my life. And then you get older and you're like, wait, I'm going to try a Brussels sprout. I'll dip it in this aioli sauce. This is actually pretty good. That's for me with horror is I stayed away from it for so long.
You still have, really. I mean, we're coming back, but you really have. You don't even dip your toes in. Like if there's like if somebody's like the Insidious movie's out, and you're like, okay. Even if it sounds scary, you're like, no, not really. Even if somebody recommends you a horror movie, you're like, nah.
That's like you
really don't.
It's not true.
Look, you watch Long Legs, but the fact is, it takes a Herculean effort from somebody that you know to convince you to go to some horror movie.
Listen, I'm not going out to an all-you-can-eat Brussels sprouts buffet. Okay, this is not what I look for. But I will like add a side item of Brussels sprouts every once in a while. So I will go see horror movies every once in a while. It's not my.
I just saw these people. So strange that you're using this reference to Brussels sprouts. I just watched like the farming of Brussels sprouts like 20 minutes ago.
What?
And these guys were like, it's not like, it looks like very different than my expectation of like harvesting Brussels sprouts, in that it was like a rice field. It looked like a rice field. And then they had like, do you remember, of course you do, The Rock and the glowing orb of destruction that like kind of extended out? Yeah, so like it's exactly like that, but it's not like, you know, fluorescent, but it's green, and they go and they have this machine where these guys are picking them like hovering above the water, and they just clip them and they throw them into this little machine. And it's interesting you mentioned Brussels sprouts. I feel like everything in this life is now a simulation to some extent.
Why were you?
I will say this
first of all.
You know, in the ways in which I like to do things, I like to learn. I don't know if you like to learn as well, but I like to learn about things that I don't know of and try to do things that, you know, I haven't done before. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for example, you know, I like to challenge myself. But nonetheless, why don't we get into old Wes Craven, little slasher film. And in Wes Craven's classic slasher film, several Midwestern teenagers fall prey to Freddy Krueger, who's played by Robert Englund. Looked him up. Hasn't done much outside of Freddy Krueger, but if you have that to point to, done pretty well. I mean, he's been in a variety of other flicks, but still, always in the horror. His main dish is definitely Brussels sprouts. Let's just put it that way. So is Wes Craven, for what it's worth. But a disfigured midnight mangler who preys on the teenagers' dreams. In their dreams, I have a mic stand that's blocking my view here, which in turn kills them in reality. After investigating the phenomenon, Nancy begins to suspect that a dark secret kept by her friends and her parents may be the key to unraveling the mystery. But can Nancy and her boyfriend Glenn solve the puzzle before it's too late? Now, if I had read that synopsis, I would never want to watch this movie for the rest of my life. Or if I saw even a trailer, I think probably is probably doesn't do this movie justice. And I, for whatever it's worth, came in completely biased, and I was like, it gets lumped in with Jason, and we know how bad Jason, the first Jason was. It was one of the most poorly rated movies we've ever had on this podcast. Rightfully so. I mean, I think it was like actually your worst other than Death Note, but it was bad. So because, you know, they've had movies together, I was fully expecting, for whatever it's worth, this to be more of like a joke movie. Not to get into like a ratings immediately, but like probably within like it was kind of cheesy off the get, but like 5-10 minutes in, I was like, okay, this is different. Like, we're in dreams, and these dreams are actually like the dreams I have and talk about with my friends or like family. And I'm like, yeah, like it kind of the cheesiness, campiness factor of it, it is underwrote by the fact that it is a dream, and therefore these dreams are kind of like reality. And so the cheese factor kind of gets thrown out of the window because it's a dream, and it masks itself to some extent, if that makes sense. Which throughout the entire movie, I actually really appreciated most of the dream scenes, because I was like, dude, like running up the stairs, for example, I was like, that happens to me. Oh my god! And like my hands are getting sweaty. Like it's not like a overwhelmingly scary movie, but like I was like, oh dude, this is like totally dream world. Did you feel like that when you were watching, of just how likely
Yeah,
this is to be your dreams as well?
I think that's the beauty of this film, is like you have this idea of like dream logic. And dream logic is just so absurd and weird and can be cheesy to some extent. Like I look at the fact that early in the film you have the introduction of Fred Krueger. He's not even called Freddy in this movie. He's called Fred,
Yeah,
which is strange in of itself. But uh, he you see his hands and he like basically cuts his fingers off, and you're like,
yeah,
what the hell is he doing? And it's like just this blood spurts up. I think it's green blood, but it's just so weird and so wacky, and also very terrifying.
yeah.
Freddy is not. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. Like, I actually like this movie a bit more than I liked Halloween, and I'll explain why.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And I think it's the central villain in the story. Like, uh, Michael Myers is this unstoppable force, and you have no idea why
Mm,
he's doing what he's doing. But
right.
Freddy's a little freak. Freddy's
Yeah.
weird, and that's a little bit more terrifying to me because I don't know what he's going to do.
Well, also, like, I don't think he knows what he's gonna do. It's like anything that just pop. He has ADD. Like,
Yeah.
like literally, Freddy's got ADD. Like anything that pops into his like twisted head, he's like, "Yeah, that's good." He's like his own like best critic at the same time. He's like the guy that laughs at his own jokes. He's like, "Oh, that's fucking twisted. We're gonna do that next." That's Freddy, and it's this weird, joyful ride that, again, at the outset of it, I was like, "Oh boy, like here we go again with this, like the next Jason, basically." And look, there's a lot of campiness and strange, odd like choices for a variety of things. I mean, first of all, Johnny Depp making his acting debut at
I was.
21
I didn't
years
even
old, or
realize that.
film debut, and like not a small role. I mean, he's really like playing it heartthrob immediately. Lovely hair, by the way. My God. Um, but let me go through the background here. Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes with $1 million budget and 57 in the box office. But you know, I'm not a slasher film type of guy. Um, but that's an unbelievable statement to say it's better than Halloween. I could actually get with that. To be honest, Halloween shot better. It looks better, but you never get like a story. And so like the belief is just like, it's more of like a feeling of, okay, is death around the corner? And this looks good. Is death around the corner? But what's actually going on? Whereas like, yeah, he's not only a freak, but an interesting freak, you know?
And
Like,
and the thing is everybody, after you watch this film, whether it's in the midday or late at night, everybody goes to bed at the end of the day, right?
yeah,
Everybody sleeps, and after seeing this film, especially when I was a kid, I was afraid to go to bed. I was afraid to have a nightmare for sure.
dude, I can't imagine being 6 years old, you watching this movie. Like I watched The Exorcist when I was like in sixth or seventh grade when I was in New Jersey. That ruined me. Like I couldn't go to bed. It's the only movie that I actually ever watched, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like what? Like I don't want to actually go to sleep. And even if I like didn't go to sleep, I was like, "Is somebody gonna come in the door?" Oddly enough, but being six and then this having that's too young, because like you're so young that this is like believable because you know that you do dream, and that and the fact that like Fred could be in your dreams. It was what? Wait, was? Do you
Yeah.
remember your dreams after this? After
Oh,
watching the
I
movie?
mean, definitely. There's definitely some
Oh
nightmares going
God.
on. Yeah, I think I should have called Child Protective Services, but in any case, it was
Why
bad,
did
man.
why did they play this for you? Because clearly on
I don't
the
know.
cover of the movie, it's like, yeah, that's probably not best for a 6-year-old. We
Yeah,
in the '80s, parents just like it was a vastly different world.
yeah. I mean, you just open the door and be like, "Go out and play," and
Come back before the sun goes down, or when the lights
exactly.
come
Yeah,
on.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I think watching a horror film with a guy with knives for fingers. I mean, yeah, I don't think they got this confused with Edward Scissorhands. This is just this is a scary film, and like I said,
So
like
so funny
the
because like Johnny Depp, probably took lessons from Mr. Robert England.
I didn't
Like
even think of that. Yeah,
had a had a well, not really, I guess, not getting twisted, but like it's an interesting one. I can't imagine having like scissors or knives for fingers, I should say. It's an interesting, very mindfuckable moment of like cinema that I don't know. I kept saying to myself, and I probably shouldn't have, to be fair, and not make the comparison and just kind of like take the movie on its own
yeah.
and like understand it. But I just kept thinking, this is so much better than like Jason, all of the Jason movies. I kept saying
Well, it
in my
was
head,
shot better. The
this
music's
is
better.
so much. Yeah, the music is so good. Um, and it just sets you in like ding, ding, like it just sets you in that moment of like, oh
This
wow,
dreamy
like
kind
it's
of.
lulling you into
That's it.
this feeling and this like, oh wow.
It's a
And then
lullaby.
you
The music
and
they
then
have
in the
is a
middle
lullaby.
and I love towards the middle how they like really change it to the extent that like is this person sleeping or are they not? Especially at the end. And I was like, oh no, there's another twist. This is amazing.
Let's talk about the lore of Fred Krueger and what we find out from, I guess, the mom, who is clearly an alcoholic. I mean, she's going to bed with a bottle of vodka as her teddy bear. But so, did you notice that?
Yeah. I mean, did you notice it? It's pretty clear that it's like front and center. I mean, I love the fact where Nancy opens the door and like her mom's like in the towel closet or something, linen closet, and just towards the back, pulling it out and chugging away. Like you can't even go downstairs and like maybe like siphon that away from your daughter potentially.
No, it's out in the
Um,
open. But
I don't
she's
know.
clearly
Not
had a troubled past because there's been this figure named Fred Krueger, who she takes her daughter down to the basement and tells her the
I mean,
story.
after how long though? I mean,
Yeah,
there's like multiple nightmares that have existed up until this point, and she's like, you're gonna be just fine. Things are
you're
good,
fine.
yeah. And then takes her down, and then what happens?
She explains to her that there's been this man that was terrorizing and killing the kids in the neighborhood years ago,
Jesus.
and the parents geared up and grouped together to get this man because he got charged with the crimes, but he got off on a technicality. I don't know. I want to see that movie, the movie where Freddy Krueger gets put on trial.
The making of Freddy Krueger. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like sitting in his basement, tucking his dick. Yeah, what's gonna go on now?
and it's basically he gets freed, and the parents gang up and take him down basically, and she pulls out in the stove downstairs the infamous glove of Freddy Krueger. I just laughed out loud in this moment. Like this was very cheese central to the
Yeah,
story.
no. It, uh, well, first of all, they burned him to death.
They burned him, yeah.
Yeah, let's be clear. Like there was this concerted effort to like take Mr. Fred down. Um, why would you keep the evidence of old Mr. Krueger? I laughed out loud as well. Like it was like, okay, all right,
Okay,
let's go down into the basement and inside of the boiler, you're gonna find
this is what
exactly
I
probably
got.
what you, yeah, like, and then like, the fuck, mom? Like, can you get rid of that
I
shit? I've been
know.
having these goddamn nightmares. That shit's in my head. Hey, I think I'm gonna die. I'm like, there's no way he can be alive because we killed him and burned him to death. Well, that's exactly that motherfucker that's in my dreams with those gloves.
That's bad juju.
He's in our house, in my head, like coming to get me. No, he can't be. That's not real. It's like, all right, Mom, you fucking alcoholic. Let's go have another drink.
Yeah. What some of the best like images in this film, and smart filmmaking with these effects without CGI, is basically having that back wall and like a person kind of coming through the back wall.
Oh, dude,
it's so good,
scary as shit. Like, honestly, still, I told you the movie, like, to me is not over. It's there's nothing that was like really there's no jump scares, and I do appreciate movies that don't have them, because I think it's like a really cheap way of like making a horror flick. Like, you pan this way and you pan that way, and the second you pan to your right, there's going to be something like in the cameras, like, covering the 90% of the screen, and then, oh my god, like, it's a cheap way of making horror flicks, I think. But there was never really any of that. I would, it's just maybe like one moment, but like, for example, which I think, this is a boisterous, ridiculous claim, but I will stand true to this because I have seen this so many times. But the scene when she's in the bathtub and falls asleep, and Freddy is coming through the water with his hand, that shot is so damn good.
It's iconic.
Yeah, and one in which I would have to put it up there with one of the greatest shots of, like, I mean, it's probably the greatest shot in horror history, but like, it's got to be one of those that you set on the mantle of like, this is one of the best like shots in cinema. It's just so cool, and how quickly switches from like, oh no, this is about to be a bloody scene, to, oh, he's gone. Like, that's it. Like, oh, that was pretty easy.
Yeah. Tease. And I can't get over the fact that like the dream world can sneak up on you so fast. Like right when you fall asleep,
dude,
it's you're there, and he's gonna haunt you. It's crazy.
I would be just like her. Like, how many drugs can I take and like not fall asleep?
Yeah, just
and nobody
Adderall 24/7.
And nobody believes her. Like, her father doesn't believe her. And even at the end, he's like, Daddy, just like at 12, like, can you please just come check in on me? And he's like, yeah. We got other things over here, a little more important. And he's like, getting his guy to check in. And I was like, dude, can we take this shit seriously? Like, people are dead.
I mean, the way that Johnny Depp's character died, holy moly.
Yeah.
I mean, as a cop, you're basically, I understand why you're like, baby, just go to sleep. I have to deal with you see this roof? There's blood dripping through this roof because this kid basically became a bed volcano.
Bed volcano. That's a great way to put it. First of all, who's on their bed with like a 13-inch TV on their chest just watching television? I was like, I don't think I've ever done that before.
Before iPhones, man, you had.
Yeah, that's true. He's like, just, it's so funny. Probably lost his remote, but like, again, like, it goes back to those weird dream worlds for me of being sucked into your bed. That's a scary moment. I remember, like, in dreams, I know people like would see things in the door, and this actually, like, the whole, like, Wes Craven made this because I think it was like California. I'm going to speak incorrectly about this, but he created it because there was a group of individuals, I believe, that were being housed or incarcerated in California that were Filipino or from another country. And basically they had these odd dreams and ultimately were dying in their sleep, probably from a different reason. But like, that was kind of the precipice or crux of this. In Korean culture, there's also, I think it's called kawi. And basically, I don't know if you've ever had that moment where like you're like, you think you can open your eyes and you're awake basically, but like you're just completely strapped down, or like you have like a force upon you and you just
Mhm.
can't get up. That's, I think, the crux of what Wes Craven was trying to get after. And boy, did he. I mean, it really represented that not only the dream world extremely well in terms of like not being able to run, or, not being able to do exactly what you want to do. But going back to your original statement of like just like falling into the bed and your father is the one that's going to have to like clean this up. At that moment, don't you think that everyone would be like, yeah, there's probably something a little different about this guy, or, dreamer than normal, and maybe we should talk to Nancy about what's going on, because that doesn't seem right, like, this, did he bring a vacuum in here and like just like, I don't know, like what's going on, and what's that hole in the bed. um but freaky moments, man, especially the wall moments are like, I don't know, whoever thought about that was a genius. This week's episode is sponsored by Soul Roots Running Company, where you can find the best covers for your feet that make you travel comfortably and quickly across sidewalks like Shell Silverstein. Soul Roots offers all varieties of running shoes, clothes, and accessories. And for 10% off, please use the code SCENE, SCENE, at checkout. And any order over $180 is free to ship anywhere in the continental United States. Head over to shop.soulrootsracing.com and fill up your cart for 10% off with the code SCENE.
This movie cost $1.1 million to make.
It's crazy.
For
Yeah.
for a budget like that, to have those creative like visions of being able to do the wall effect, or do the hand coming through
Yeah.
the bathtub, like these iconic moments that don't require any CGI. Like that's the kind of stuff that I like that these movies do. Just amazing.
Yeah, it was so good. Did you see like the cop towards the end that comes in? My knee is really busted, so I'm like having to move a lot. But um, it looks like Zac Efron's dad. I don't know if you remember the guy. I don't remember his name, but do you know the guy I'm talking about? I was like, dude,
I
that's
do,
Zac
yeah.
Efron's dad, right? Yeah, I was like, that's the dad.
It did look like that. What about? Let's see. What about the tagline? Did you see any taglines for this?
I didn't see any taglines, but I will say this. I will say that while this is so dumb and audacious, but and remakes are just happening left and right. I don't want. I went in to watch Freddy 2. By the way, I've seen this movie twice. I saw it last night with my wife. She was like, I don't want to watch a scary movie at night. And then we watched it and she's like, that was so good. Like that was the first time she's ever seen it. It was like, that was so freaking good. But I would, we need a 2026 version of this with the big bold letters with red, Freddy. Mm-hmm. I would love to see like a new rendition of this, like a Frankenstein Guillermo del Toro like version of Freddy. But from this concept, the original concept. No, I don't want any of that Freddy versus Jason shit. I don't want any of like the part 2. Okay. I want the original substantive matter, but like we said, or I said, like, gee, why don't you stick to these types of genres and don't go back to the Hellboy shit? But like Freddy, that might be your next rendition. And I just, it would be Guillermo del Toro and like Freddy. It would be, oh my God.
That would be really good. I would love that. Another director that I think that would be fun to take it on, I would like to see Bong Joon-ho do a Freddy movie.
Oh, I think that my God. Yeah.
Incredible.
That would be wild. Yeah. That would be terrific.
Because some of his creature features, but there was a point that I wanted to make.
Taglines.
I can't remember. Taglines, yeah. There's did you know there's 9 Freddy Krueger movies? So we should get
I can believe it. I looked up like what Wes Craven has done, and it was like mostly Scream and Freddy type movies. I haven't looked into all of them. I will say I haven't finished the second iteration of this. but it does drop off pretty quickly. it's a pretty quick drop off. And I think, to be fair, horror is one of those genres that you can just kind of, because it's just, you're replicating scares to some extent and like fear. And to do that is pretty easy, for which you don't really need plot devices and like ingenuity. I don't want to say ingenuity, but like it doesn't take a lot to create a horror script that is replicating what you've already previously done when the world is already created. Whereas like, I don't know, some of the new horror stuff, what is that English movie? I think I recommended it to you. They came out with a new one. But anyway, they go into like the mind of, anyway, I'm going to fuck all of this up. But it's easy, I think, easier to create like a horror movie than it is like a Pulp Fiction or something, Reservoir Dogs or something like that, where there's the script involved that's more important,
I think a lot more directors can get their start or get funding for horror movies because there's the genre has an instant fan base.
Yeah.
People go see horror movies on date nights or whatever just because it's there. It's something visceral that you can like latch onto.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like the genre that we used to have like in the 90s and 2000s just died off, which is comedies. We don't get comedies anymore as much.
Which is very depressing. What was the last like comedy, do you think?
I think the last like big comedy that got people to go see it was probably The Hangover or The Hangover 2 or something.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, that was pretty much, and around that time, like the other guys, I think actually came after. It did come after. It did come after, but it wasn't like groundbreaking. But like The Hangover, I remember watching The Hangover trailer and being like, that's probably just going to be exactly like the trailer. And if it is, that's going to be the greatest movie of all time. I was like, this is the greatest. Honestly, like even to this day, I was like, that's probably the greatest trailer I've ever seen. And it was just a comedy, just like, shooting the shit. But I'm like, this is outstanding. It's sad, man, because people got to laugh. And you had Wedding Crashers, for example. I mean, Anchorman and like all of those. Yeah, it just got killed off. Why can't we laugh anymore? We just can't make fun of particular areas of life. Like it's so strange to me.
Yeah, I think I only saw like one true comedy last year in the movie theaters, and that was The Naked Gun. And that's an outlier.
And how was that?
Superheroes. I really enjoyed it. I say give it a watch. Check it out. It's a little different than the classic. It has the classic Naked Gun spirit, but in a different type of joke style. But
so
it's
I'm a big
gag
fan.
a minute.
Yeah, big fan of the original. I just Liam Neeson, by the way, like I think the origination of him even having the optionality to be in that role to begin with, the old Pamela, was derived from him trying to be funny with Ricky Gervais, where he was making fun of Ricky Gervais, and that really going over well because it was like everyone's used to like Taken, and then he's just trying to be funny with Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant. I don't know if you've ever seen this clip, but I'll send it to you afterwards. But it's really funny, like hilarious. Like it's like, oh wow, like Liam Neeson can actually, make fun of himself. So it was kind of like an extended version of that. I don't know, man. I at the same time, unironically, am telling you that the remake shouldn't be made. Therefore, Freddy should be remade.
Yeah, but you're a little contradiction here. But it's okay.
I don't really. Maybe I will, but I don't have a terrible interest or the time to go into The Naked Gun. I mean, like, is it really gonna be that valuable? I've had one person tell me to watch it, but in a very muted way, and that's you. So
that's me. Yeah, I had fun. It was again. I don't really remember the plot. I just know that there was a bunch of jokes and gags in it.
Yeah, I think I would really appreciate if we actually had just one or even two movies that were terrific. On 1984 had This Is Spinal Tap. Can we just get something like that? I mean, no, but their answer is no. But like, can somebody try? You know, like even Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, I would consider to be of like, which came much. Anyway, we can get a docu-series that still is funny. But anyway, with that being said, I love one of my favorite scenes was the bathtub scene, but also cheesy, just probably terribly shot. But I love the fact of the phone ringing at the very end, and it's cut, and she realizes like, oh shit, I'm in a dream, and picks up the phone. Freddy's of course on the other end, and a tongue comes out of it, and I was like, that's so disgusting. It's so dumb too. It's like so dumb. But I remember that being so popular, of people being scared of like tongues coming out of a phone basically. And then I remember also like phones having tongues like attached to them, and people would have like gag gifts provided to people.
It's so stupid.
But I'll say this, going back to the whole genre of horror, my family, for whatever it's worth, that were raised in New Jersey, born in New Jersey, like my cousin Bradley, 6'9" Bradley, he loved horror, and his brother Sean loved horror. And I just remember I couldn't get into any of it, so I don't remember even what I watched, but like he would go watch Child's Play, and this is like the time where like you would just like check in and go watch whatever you wanted, and also like you can go to back movies, and like nobody cared. I love the 80s with like that type of mentality. Like that's the feeling that Stranger Things like kind of provides you, where it's like, everything's free and open, when it's really not. You're stealing. But I remember like him going to Child's Play and coming out, and I had no idea what Child's Play was. And it was just like this doll that was like, I guess, killing people. But I feel like even the genre of horror is different now. It's just more.
It's more serious.
There's nothing like. There's nothing. Maybe I'm so far out of it that I don't even understand it, and I'm ignorant and talking about something I have no idea about. But I feel like it's just not. There's nothing that like captivates me. Like, because I'll Brussels sprout it up. I'll like dial into Long Legs, and I actually thought I loved Long Legs. I thought it was terrific, but it still was like, yeah, okay, like this isn't like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was like, holy shit. Or it wasn't like The Exorcist, which I think is a hard one to ever, you're never going to probably get better than that in terms of a scare. But this is so original. Whereas like, boy dies in a lake, mom angry, Jason, like, yeah, it could be original, but like it's just horrendously shot. He's got a like literally. I threw away that pillowcase, by the way, that I cut the holes into that I was trying to wear on that podcast recently. It just is a terrible movie, and I think not a great concept. And Freddy is everything different and better than that is Jason. But I love your point that Freddy, like Nightmare on Elm Street, great name for a movie, first of all, is better than Halloween. I actually would agree in the sense that, like, I know this is saying a lot. If you take away the actual structure of how things are shot in Halloween, it's much better. And you take away the music, you're not really left with a whole lot. Like there's not a whole lot to point to. Whereas like you have a pretty direct connection between Everyone Has to Dream, and this is a pretty creative way to scare the living shit out of virtually everyone going to watch it. And also, man's a freak, but a fun freak. Yeah. He's a fun freak.
Yeah, like, here's my thing.
I would actually like to go have a drink with Freddy.
Oh, what do you think he drinks? What do you think? It's like something with an umbrella?
Fireballs. Fireballs from hell.
Yeah, here's my thing. I think that when looking at these horror movies from this time frame, from the 70s and 80s slasher movies, I think this one really captures the 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 weirdness of what the 80s are, and like
Yeah.
what the movies can do with this kind of like idea of um not a physical force, but somebody that can, because what is fear is what's in your mind, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
dreams are in your
totally.
mind. So this all plays into it together. And you know, having this demonic force that can't die because he's just in your mind is so much scarier than somebody that's just lurking in the shadows, to me.
Way scarier because like your mind is endless. Those shadows, like you just wait until 9 a.m. tomorrow or 6 a.m. tomorrow, and those shadows are gone. So it's frightening. It's a frightening moment. I think it does really encapsulate the 80s as well, like
Yeah.
extremely, extremely well. Um, I don't know. It's gonna take a while for me to watch it again. I will say that, but I really truly do think this is one of the greatest scary. I don't know, man. It's like a weird. It should have like subsets of like horror, you know, like uh, it's one of the greatest horror flicks I've ever seen. I think I like it the most, and again it masks itself oddly with like the acting isn't great
No.
by any
No, the
stretch of the
acting's very
imagination,
poor.
but it's like it didn't need to be.
No.
Like if you watch Bottle Rocket, for example, like the characters that the script is like so good, or Clerks, for
Hmm.
example, like the acting, it didn't need to be good. Just the substantive matter was so good that it kind of like masks everything else.
Yeah.
This is one of those flicks.
I like I forget the way that Johnny Depp describes it when he's talking to Nancy about like how to defeat this this idea of Freddy in your mind is just turn your back to it. Don't give it any attention. Right? Which is a creative
It's true.
and genius way, is like but you have to let go of that fear, and that's the idea of it, right?
I mean,
So
yeah. I mean, that's a hard thing to do.
it's a very hard thing to
Because
do.
like the
And but
crevices of your that you've never gone into the ultimate crevices of your own mind, so it's like, I mean,
yeah.
maybe there's something still there, and then therefore, how are you going to turn your back on? I don't know. It's a tough thing to say, but it's true. Gangsta at the end. I mean, we turned Home Alone, by the way, like just setting up sledgehammers and shit.
I know.
Like,
I
wait,
was
what's going on?
I was very surprised at her MacGyvering of yeah,
Yeah,
exactly Home Alone of her bedroom. But she's like, I love the idea of like, all right, midnight, I'm going to bed. Dad, come get me in 20 minutes. I got this. And she's going in with a mission. And like that was going to be the end of the film, the happy ending, the Nancy succeeding. But there was a producer that was like, no, 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 no. This is a horror film. We have to leave something hanging. We have to give
yeah,
people like something at the end of this movie to walk out on and be like, holy shit.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and that's why they ended up with that, like seemingly like a happy ending turns into the nightmare.
Oh, it's
And I love
fantastic though. The way it ended was perfect.
it. Did you
And I
notice the color of the roof of the Corvette?
no,
Like
I don't.
it was red. It was red and green.
I'm so colorblind.
It was red
Like
and green.
I red and green is yeah. He had he had a solid color shirt the whole time to me. Not really, but it's like yeah, it's tough, man. I wish they had correct. I think they have corrective surgery for like color blindness. How did you even notice? First of all,
I read it. I read it
oh,
in something. Yeah. But for those
I'm
people
like,
that
wait,
aren't
hold up.
colorblind, I bet you noticed. I bet you saw
I was
that
like,
and
wait,
were
no,
like,
hold the fuck up. No, I like those are things it's funny you mentioned that because like both of us are probably missing out on like so many different things in life, like colors of just like flowers, for example.
yeah,
Like I have no idea what that is. Well,
yeah. I
I'll go
didn't.
first for a rating. Um, I truly enjoyed this. I honestly I went back and watched it because I enjoyed it so much, and I just felt like my wife had to watch it with me. I Again, it masks itself, so it's never going to be like a Five Glasses movie, but I think it really is the quintessential 80s horror flick, if not one of the greatest or top 5 like horror flicks of all time. Not to say that I have really seen a whole lot of them, so this is a bit of a tongue in cheek, but I'm gonna go out and say this is a Four Glasses movie for me. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, that's a pretty high score. I understand why it would get it, but it's like objectively, I don't know. I think you have to override a little too much to get to 94% to, sit in that type of arena. But yeah, Four Glasses is definitely what I thought this would be, or felt it would be.
Yeah, for a movie of this kind of this style, and having so many critics like this movie, it says something, and it says something that they've made 9 other films with Freddy in it. It's one of those things like he's a creature or a person in your mind, so he can't die. So like he can just keep coming back.
He's still alive, Robert Englund.
Is he really? Wow.
Yeah,
good for him.
Yeah, he's not even that old.
He looks old in the first film, but maybe that's just the burn scars. I'm in agreement with this. I don't think it can be considered the level of Five Glasses, Golden Glasses, just because there are flaws in this movie with the acting and some of the writing. But the idea, the premise, the construct of it is just brilliant, and that's why it's got to be Four Glasses as well.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah,
boy. How's your coffee?
Agree to agree.
Well, we made it another week. Have we actually decided what we're going to do next week?
It's something about either doing something sad, or because I just watched a really sad contemplative movie, but I think you would actually hate it and think it's very boring because it kind of is.
What is it?
It's Train Dreams. It's a new movie on Netflix with it's very poetic. It's very like the cinematography is great, but it's very sad.
I like sad movies. I don't know if it's considered sad, but I just watched If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You.
I want to watch that. Is it good? Rose Byrne.
It's really good. Okay. And really surprising nature of the actors involved and how well they do. Like A$AP Rocky and Conan O'Brien are in it. Yeah,
I like
Rose
those guys.
Crushes. But it's like it's not that sad. It's sad, but like it's not going to be. It shouldn't be in a movie that we're discussing. Like, what this is the saddest movie of all time.
Is it like Eternal Sunshine sad, kind of like that? I consider that a sad.
It involves a child, so that's the sad part of it. But it's like
I've watched a lot of those movies lately. Hamnet, Train Dreams. Yeah, it's.
Well, my movie that I wanted to watch of sadness also does involve a child too, which is like Grave of the Fireflies, which is Studio Ghibli.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've you would think that you can't have that sad of a animated film. Fuck.
All right, I don't think we've settled on anything because it's either sad movie or Joker 2 Folie à Deux. So,
what do you think we should do? Why don't we do Joker? Because I've never seen it. Let's do Joker because, like, to be honest with you, I watched If I Had Legs, and before that, I watched Grave of the Fireflies, and maybe I'm just depressed right now. And I kind of don't want to watch Grave of the Fireflies again because I hit the end of that and I'm like, that. It's still with me. It's like, ugh, oh my god, in the best way possible. But it's like, you'll understand. Have you seen it before?
No, but I haven't, and I want to. But I find it funny that we're like, instead of doing a movie that makes us feel sad, we're going to do one of the worst reviewed movies of the past 15, 20 years. And that just bombed.
I don't even want to go into like the details of like how I'm going to try to make this, because like you can go into an evaluation of that movie one way. You watch it, you hate it, you say you hate it. It's pretty easy to do that, kind of like you with Death Note. Or you can go into it and be like, I'm going to try to find meaning, even if the meaning is not there. And then that's another way to be interpretive, which I think Tarantino did when he. Anyway, we're going probably. Let's do Joker.
Okay, Joker it is. All right.
I'm not looking forward to this, and that's the whole purpose of it. Because like I want to be forced to watch it, but I'm like, this is God.
You might actually love it. You know,
dude. What if we like came out and we're like, dude, that was outstanding. That'd be so funny. All right, till next week or the week after. Goodbye.